This is the digital channel of the General Overseas Service of All India Radio. I am Manoj Mainkar, and in the next half hour, I'll bring to you news updates from India and around the world, awareness videos on coronavirus by Government of India, yoga on radio, and a lot more. We'll begin with the news updates.
This is the General Overseas Service of All India Radio. The news read by Maria Albina Michael. Rockets rained down on Libya's capital Tripoli on Tuesday. Health authorities in the UN-backed government said the second day of heavy bombardment by eastern-based forces that struck one of the city's largest hospitals. The barrage of Grad rockets hit Al Khadra Hospital, where over 300 patients were being treated, including 2 for the coronavirus and many for shrapnel wounds and burns from bombs. The assault, sharply condemned by the UN, wounded a Bangladeshi medical worker on Monday and forced a group of patients to evacuate when missiles hit part of the maternity unit and the power system failed, said Tripoli Health Ministry official Amin al-Hashimi. Patients suffering from chronic illnesses continued to be evacuated on Tuesday. The Islamic State terror group on Tuesday claimed responsibility for an attack on a CRPF patrolling party in Anantnag district of South Kashmir, in which a Jawan was killed and another injured. The group, which has a very little presence in the valley, made the claim on its Amaq news agency within hours of the attack. Head Constable Shiv Lal Neelam was killed in the incident in Bijbehara on Tuesday evening, 42 kilometers from Srinagar. India will allow some exports of the anti-malaria drug hydroxychloroquine, the Foreign Ministry said on Tuesday, after US President Donald Trump urged New Delhi to release supplies of the drug seen as a possible treatment for COVID-19. The Indian government had earlier put a hold on exports of hydroxychloroquine as well as on the pain reliever paracetamol, saying it had to meet its internal demand. But Trump spoke to Prime Minister Narendra Modi over the weekend, seeking supplies, and later hinted that India may face retaliation. Pakistan recorded a sudden spike of 577 new coronavirus cases in the last 24 hours, taking the total number of COVID-19 patients to 4,005 on Tuesday. According to Ministry of National Health Services, Punjab registered the maximum number of 2,004 cases, followed by Sindh 986, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa 500, Gilgit Baltistan 211, Balochistan 202, Islamabad 83, and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir POK 19. Prime Minister Imran Khan has also announced 1,200 rupee billion financial package to help vulnerable people and businesses. The number of deaths in the US due to coronavirus on Tuesday crossed 12,700, with a record 1,900 fatalities in a single day. While the death toll in the US continues to soar, and those being infected by the deadly virus now approaching 4 lakhs, the highest for any country in the world. New York, the epicenter of COVID-19 in the US alone, accounts for 5,400 deaths and 138,000 cases, followed by adjoining New Jersey with 1,200 deaths and 44,416 cases. Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has conveyed his heartfelt appreciation to Prime Minister Modi, government and people of India for sending medicines to his country on a special chartered flight. The President said in a message that kind and generous support is deeply appreciated in this hour of need. The remarks came as India on Tuesday gifted a 10-ton consignment of essential life-saving medicines to Sri Lanka in view of the ongoing COVID-19 crisis. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka recorded 5 more positive cases on Tuesday, bringing the total number of active cases to 145. 6 people have died out of total 183 cases reported and 42 have recovered so far. Sri Lankan Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has urged the general public to give their full support to the government's efforts in fight against COVID-19 outbreak. Indian Ambassador to China Vikram Misri said there is great scope for India and China to cooperate in scientific and medical research related to ongoing COVID-19 crisis, including development of a vaccine, which can be of great value to the world at large. In an interview to China's state television CGTN, Misri said that immediate priority in this cooperation is to procure medical kits, PPEs, ventilators and other medical equipment in a stable and orderly manner from China and to help and assist medical fraternity in India who are battling this pandemic on a war footing. Recalling India's help to China of 16 tons medical assistance in early stages of the outbreak, Misri said there is a lot of scope for cooperation in assisting each other. He said that both the countries remain committed to celebrate the 70th anniversary of diplomatic ties. He said that both the countries remain committed to celebrate the 70th anniversary of diplomatic ties in a befitting manner in pursuance to the vision of leaders of both the countries. The total number of coronavirus cases in the national capital on Tuesday rose to 576, with 51 fresh cases and 2 deaths being reported in a day, according to the Delhi Health Department. The total number of cases include 333 people who took part in Tablighi Jamaat congregation in Nizamuddin area last month. With this, the death toll in Delhi due to COVID-19 has risen to 9. Meanwhile, the OPD facility at the Delhi State Cancer Institute has been shut and admitted patients being shifted to a private facility nearby in the wake of 2 doctors and 16 other medical staff testing positive for coronavirus in the last few days. The total number of COVID-19 cases in the country has risen to 4,789, with 508 more positive cases reported. In all, 124 deaths have been reported so far. Currently, there are 4,312 active cases, with 353 persons discharged after recovery. Briefing media in New Delhi, Joint Secretary in Health Ministry Love Agarwal informed that government has been adopting a strategy for cluster containment and for outbreaks that are amenable to management. He said this strategy is producing positive results, especially in Agra and Gautam Budh Nagar in Uttar Pradesh, Pathanamthitta in Kerala, Bhilwara in Rajasthan, and East Delhi. He said Indian Railways has prepared 40,000 isolation beds in 2,500 coaches. Railways is making 375 isolation beds daily, and this is going on across 133 locations across the country. Quoting a recent ICMR study, Mr. Agarwal said, if one COVID-19 patient does not follow lockdown orders or practice social distancing, then the patient can infect 406 people in 30 days. And that is the end of this news bulletin.
If the current COVID-19 outbreak has got you feeling stressed out and anxious, then a calming yoga flow can definitely help. We care for your well-being and therefore, we bring for our listeners Yoga on Radio. Practice some easy asanas with Yogacharya Surakshit Goswami and keep yourself healthy and rejuvenated.
Dear listeners, today we will practice Tadasana. The name Tadasana comes from the Sanskrit word Tad, meaning mountain. In Tadasana, the intention is to cultivate the strength, stability, and stillness of a mountain. Tadasana is both physically and mentally grounding and can be used to form a connection with the earth. It can be deepened by closing the eyes to challenge the balance further. As an effect of gravitational pull, our bodies are getting pulled down all the time. In Tadasana, the body is stretched upwards and as a result, every muscle is toned. Tadasana also strengthens the joints and bones and makes them strong and supple. The vertebrae and back muscles get toned even as you stretch your backbone. This provides relief in back pain, slipped disc, neck pain, stiffness in the shoulder, arthritis, and joint pain. Tadasana has a positive effect on the digestive system, respiratory system, skeletal system, nervous system, and muscular system and prevents their degeneration and disease. This asana helps in the treatment of asthma, breathing problems, and cough and makes the chest and heart muscles supple. Laziness, fatigue, anxiety, and stress, even heaviness and stiffness can be kept at bay by practicing this asana. To energize yourself, practice Tadasana at any time of the day when you feel exhausted. This simple stretch also improves circulation, gives a shape to the body, and decreases risk of injury. Tadasana is recommended for increasing the height of children. The weight and pressure of the entire body falls on the lower part of the toe, which, according to acupressure, controls sensitive points of the brain, sinus, eyes, nose, neck, pituitary gland, pineal gland, thyroid gland, parathyroid, and thymus glands. By doing this asana, you can keep these organs fit.
Stand straight with your feet together. Bring both hands in front of your chest and interlock your fingers. After that, turn your interlocked palms in such a way that the palms face outwards and stretch. Now, raise your hands towards the sky and inhale. Take your hands slightly to the back of your head, keeping your elbows straight. Raise the soles of your feet and balance your body on your toes and stretch your body upwards. Breathe normally and hold this position for some time. Exhale and return to your normal position while slowly unlocking the palms and bring them to the sides of your body. Inhale before getting into the asana and try and keep the Tadasana posture for 20 to 30 seconds. Exhale as you return to the original position. Do the asana twice. Maintain a happy posture as you perform this asana. Stretch only the body, not the face.
India is at a critical stage in its fight against coronavirus as fears of community transmissions rise. During its lockdown, frontline workers are still going out every day to win what one doctor described as a war India can't afford to lose. In this section, we bring to you the best of advices from doctors all over India talking about various aspects of coronavirus. Here is one such doctor talking to you.
Namaste. Greetings to the listeners of General Overseas Service of ESD, All India Radio. Let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. Seema Bhatt and I'm a practicing pathologist. I'm here today to talk to you about the COVID 19 pandemic our country is facing, as well as we all know that it's a global pandemic. So, to start with, let me introduce you what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to tell you the role of the essential health services as they stand today for the general public. What do we mean by essential health services, and how it should be used at this point is so important for us to understand, for the general public to understand that how they can contribute at this time, since you all know that the health workers are working overtime and the essential health services are still functioning. So I'm here today in my role as a doctor to just explain to you what is essential health services and when and where you should use them. To start, I would like to uh, reinforce what everybody is telling you every day on social media, on televisions, on news. Stay home, stay safe. I will also add stay connected. For information, stay connected to neighbors, your friends, your people who can influence you. Stay connected to anybody who makes you happy. And we have all the means these days in this era of technology. And a little bit, I will also add that these are difficult, trying times for a doctor, for a general person, for a person who's working. It's a difficult time for the country. So, one thing which I say is not as a doctor, but as a human to human, I say stay kind. Be kind to everybody you meet and help out in whatever place you are. It's not just that we as doctors are in the front, every person in this country, in this planet, has something to contribute in fighting this virus. And together, we will. We will not panic, we will overcome. So now I come to talking about essential services and the stage we are in. Right now, we are in the third stage of spread, which is known as community spread. Now, here is the role which is like absolutely important of social distancing, because this is the only way we can beat community spread. And I'm sure all of you who are watching the news know what I mean by it. Large congregations have to be avoided, and we know that they have not been so far. In the name of religion, be it any religion, I don't take any name, people do not understand that God will not help you until you help yourself. And the religious leaders, the people of influence, have fooled general innocent public by having these congregations. Now, you also know that if a single doctor is infected in a hospital, the hospital goes into lockdown. So, herein comes the role of the essential service. By essential services, we mean that all the hospitals all across India are open. Do not panic that the medical services are not available. As addressed on the eve of the lockdown by our great statesman, Prime Minister, who is leading from the front, that all hospitals will remain open for essential services. The medical shops will be open, will be giving all sorts of medicine. Now, since I am a pathologist, I would like to say that all the hospitals are running all emergency tests, all pathology tests. COVID-19 tests are only being done under the if a patient is serious, and there are certain guidelines. They are being done by some labs all across India. I am coming to routine, like I am a patient today, I get a headache and it's a throbbing headache. Should I visit the doctor? No. Okay. Second scenario, I think my mother is sick and she seems to be having a 99-degree temperature. Should I take her to the hospital? No. Okay. Third scenario, I think I'm about to go into labor. Should I go to the hospital? Yes. I think that my father is facing severe breathlessness. He seems to be having a heart attack. Should I take him to the hospital? Yes. So herein comes the use of discretion on what is essential and what is not. Because there are certain things which are unavoidable and you take a certain amount of risk. Right now, all the OPDs are closed because when you wait in the OPD, you cannot practice social distancing. You sit close. So you have to take a call that a minor headache, you can take a pill on your own. If you seem to have a cold, which is like a run of the mill cold, you don't have to go anywhere. You can call up doctors. All doctors are giving telemedicine. And I'm sure that everybody has their doctor's number fed. So doctors right now are giving free telephonic consultations regarding any issue you tap them on, be it mental health. Of course, we cannot do blood tests over the telephone, but so many patients ring me up and I give them the correct advice. This is what you can do. But first and foremost, as far as possible, do not go to the doctor, do not go to the hospitals unless it is a life and death situation. That is the contribution which you have to make in an educated society, that you do not crowd the hospitals, you do not get either infect yourself or infect the doctor. Even if you feel you have a fever, there is no really good reason to go to the hospital. But now if you check the website, which is really very good, www.mygov.in, corona updates, all sorts of phone numbers, all sorts of advice, any query you have is solved. So that is the right approach. Do not just go into hospitals for any small trivial ailment. This is where you can help. The doctor.
During lockdown in India, many citizens are voluntarily participating in creating awareness and helping the less privileged.
Namaste. Greetings to the listeners of General Overseas Service EST All India Radio. I am Namita Verma, a teacher by vocation and a writer, gardener, and homemaker by choice. Since the last couple of months, news about novel coronavirus has been dominating the world scenario. Agreed, it is a pandemic which is galloping by leaps and bounds, and precisely for these reasons, lockdown has been announced. So, are we to feel helpless and cowed down? No, never. It is the time to enjoy the freedom of so many locks which are being opened during this lockdown. The daughter of an entrepreneur mom is realizing that what a wonderful cook her mother is. She is also awakening to the fact that how knowledgeable her father is about the numerous stars in the sky, as well as the Great Bear. The family as a whole sitting together to have meals. Slowly the locks of communication being opened one by one. Mornings start on a quiet, meditative note. True, there are anxious moments when we keep on looking at the updates regarding the pandemic. But for that, what we can do is stay at home. And the best way to do this is by keeping oneself in high life condition, remaining positive, and having your hands full with the itinerary of each day. You have so much time to do all those things that you have been postponing due to lack of time. The whole family is at home. Try that new recipe. Bake that cake. Teach simple chores to your children. Share anecdotes with them. Travel back into the time by browsing through that old album together. Come closer in the times of social distancing. Unlock locks. This is also a time to realize the huge amount of household work which is accomplished by our house help. Have respect for the type of hard work they do. Now, we all will be more thoughtful about them, having gone through the grill they undergo every day. Have gratitude for your employer, your office space, and your colleagues. Now you realize that the everyday humdrum of your office is so precious for you. Good times will come again. Be careful, be in your homes. Breathe in, breathe out. Look out for that shy flower. The weed which was till now neglected is the one for the flower vase now selected. Your husband's unconditional help, your child's innocent games, the glowing stars and flowering boughs, all are there unlocked for you to wow. So new things to do and other things to learn will lift us from this morass. We keep our faith and spirits high. We know for sure this too shall pass. Keep on listening to All India Radio, our lifeline for quarantine. Thank you.
The world is grappling with possibly the worst public health crisis seen in more than a century. The COVID-19 pandemic has gripped nations, compelling governments to impose countrywide lockdowns to contain the spread of the deadly virus. Government of India is taking all necessary steps to ensure the well-being of its citizens. The most important factor in preventing the spread of the virus locally is to empower the citizens with the right information and taking precautions as per the advisories being issued by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare and World Health Organization. We share with you one such advisory. Have a look.